Hello and welcome back to the High Bulletin, hosted by yours truly, Ralph Mentor. Now, before we continue, please follow us on Instagram, Like Eagle LLC, and our YouTube channel, Like Eagle LLC. And if you're listening on what's it called there? Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and any other podcast platform, please leave us a rating and visit our website, likeeaglellc.com, for more of our podcasts and to see our featured merchandise that will be dropping sometime in 2025. I hope on the early side, then on the late side and all. But we're finally 3 weeks into the start of the National Basketball Association, and I feel like now it's time to give a breakdown of how the league is going so far, since we're 10 games in for about every team. No, let's say 12 to 14 games for certain teams, and all some teams at 13, some teams at 12, and all too as well. We're 2 games into the NBA Cup tournament too as well and all. So I won't be breaking that down. I don't have too much enthusiasm for it, at least and all. It's cool. It's a cool element that the NBA has definitely added to the league and all. But still what's it called there? I'm still an old-fashioned guy and all. I'm a guy who's been watching the NBA since the 90s at least and all. So I'm cool with the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference and all that. Just the 82 game season and all. So I do get it. I do believe it's something I'll be into more down the road, at least in a few years down the road. I feel like it's more for the new fans that are getting themselves into the NBA, and especially the global side and all too as well, knowing that football with the U, we're talking about soccer at least, no, they do their little tournaments throughout the league that I'm unaware of the name wise at least, no, but aware that they do tournaments within their season before the grand championship at least, no. So getting back into basketball at least and all, just to bring that up just for the NBA Cup at least and all, understanding what they're doing with it and what's going to happen further with it and all too as well. But let's focus on these conferences and all. First, focus on the Eastern Conference, because even though I'm a staunch believer that the Western Conference is so much better than the Eastern Conference right now, at least and all, especially record wise. You can argue that there's more contenders, at least on the Western Conference side, than the Eastern Conference side to start the season, at least and all. So as usual, we'll start from the bottom up and all, and we'll begin from 15 to 12 and all. And we have 2 surprising teams. Yesterday it wasn't surprising; it was just one surprising team. But right now it looks like we're gonna have 2 surprising teams in the 12 to 15 range of the current Eastern Conference standings right now. So at number 15, we got the Toronto Raptors. At number 14, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. We'll have a story about them and all. Number 13, we'll have the Washington Wizards. And then at 12, we'll have the Milwaukee Bucks and all. 13, 15 obviously isn't too surprising to have the Toronto Raptors at 15. No Scotty Barnes too, unfortunately. We do have like Andrew Jones likes to say, a non-melanin player and all, and Grady Dick at least. And I'm uncomfortable using his name at least, and I just wanted to put it out there. But still, he's shown out and had a few good games, honestly, over the past few games. I can look up his stats real quick. Since the injury that Scotty Barnes, he's going to be out for a few weeks and all. Yeah, I'm seeing that he dropped 32 against the Bucks, and then another in 16 points. Unfortunately, got his shots up at least and all, but he's shown that at least and all too. I'm not seeing any more stats unless he just came back recently. It looks like, let me see. No, not recently, at least. No, he's got a 14-point game and the 15-point game, too, as well, honestly. He is shooting the ball well from 3. That the 16-point game I'm mentioning, his last game and all, looks like his worst game from 3, based on his recent games, at least, and all. Looking even more. Yeah, he shot the ball pretty damn well from 3. That's actually his worst game, his 16-point game against the Pistons, where he went 1 for 10, at least, and all. He's basically been averaging close to 50%, close to it, yeah, close to maybe 40, a little over 40 at least and all, just based off the numbers I'm seeing at least and all. So Yeah, he had one bad game, another bad game where he didn't. Yeah, I'm saying zero. So yeah, he had one bad game where he went 0 for 5 at least. No, but again, Grady Dick has at least stepped up with that 32-point game since Scotty Barnes has been up. But it's not surprising that the Toronto Raptors are at the 15th seed and all too as well, especially if Scotty Barnes isn't healthy and all. Same thing with the Wizards, a team that does have some fair talent, honestly. Jordan Poole, quote unquote, at least not to some people's eyes. Kyle Kuzma, obviously, too, as well. Those are guys, two guys that have been on championship teams, too, as well. Kuzma being part of the Lakers 2020 team, and Jordan Poole being part of the 2022 Golden State Warriors team, at least. No. But again, they got young guys like below Koulibaly, got his name down. Corey Kispert, I'm a fan of, at least, no, too, as well. Is always a streaky shooter, at least, and all, but again, can have a big game too as well and all. And their number one pick there, no, number two pick overall, but their one pick, and Alex Sarr and all has shown out defensively, at least and all. His shot has progressed, at least. And I won't say it's gotten better, but it's progressed because it looked pretty bad to start, at least and all, but it doesn't look as bad to start, at least and all. So those two teams aren't too surprising on why they're at the 12 to 15 range and all. The Milwaukee Bucks, though, and the Philadelphia 76ers, very surprising. I will lean towards Milwaukee being the more surprising because, again, Philadelphia has essentially has played, except for maybe one or two games, have played most of their games with one of their three stars and all. Two of their games, they've played with 2 or 3 games. I believe it's 2 games. Maxey and George playing together until Maxey had his hamstring injury, and when Embiid came back Tuesday, I believe Paul George played. So those 2 games are the times that they've had 2 of their 3 stars play. Out of the other games, only one of the 3 have played in all 2 as well. I do expect Paul George and Embiid to play more going forward. Tyrese Maxey's hamstring injury, unfortunately, is going to have him out, I believe, 2 to 4 weeks and all. So, but it isn't. They are surprising, no matter what, for them to be at the 14th seed and all at 2 and 10. But it is understandable not having 2 out of your 3 superstars for basically 80% of your games and all to start the season. But for Milwaukee Bucks, though, very surprising that they're in this position and all, because you're looking at Giannis. Look at his recent stats. This man just dropped, 55 points or 59 points against the Detroit Pistons and all. And I believe he's averaging basically 35 points a game over the first 10 to 12 games of the season and all too as well. I can't remember a bad game from him. I'm trying to get his stats up. Of course, it's Matt Slow on my side, of course, and all. So I'm trying to get those up for you. But yeah, the 11 games they've basically played and all. I'm not able to get his stats right now. Give me a second. Give me an awkward, what's it called there? Awkward pause for the moment and all. But yeah, like I'm looking over his games right now. His worst game is 23 points against the Raptors in a win, in a defensive win and all. His next lowest game is 24 points and all. 22 points, I guess, first game of the season at least. No, I missed that. But 30 points, 37 points, 34 points, 31 points, 43 points, and then the 59 points against Detroit and all. So he's been awesome. Damian Lillard, who's had some bad games, but for the most part has had mostly good games throughout the year. He's got a 41-point game, a 36-point game, a 34-point game, and a 33-point game too as well and all. He's got some bad games too as well. Had a 4-point game in the third game of the season and all too as well. But again, 2 of the 3 stars have essentially played 80% of their games at least and all, and they're sitting there at 2 and 10 and all. You can look at their roster and all. They have nobody to guard the point of attack. You can essentially call it POA and all, but they have nobody to guard the top of the key and all. They do have rim protectors in Giannis, obviously, and in Brook Lopez. People say Brook Lopez has lost a step. I don't think so. The man is working extra hard on defense and all too as well. So I think his offensive game has suffered. I think his last game, where Giannis dropped 59 points, he dropped 29 points and all too. So they've had everything there. It's just the roster construction and all. They really have no prolific scorer outside of those 2. Middleton is a key that could help them out and all. I don't think it makes a difference to me, honestly. Maybe it makes them 500 team at least, because the way they're going, they don't look like the above 500 team, even though they've won their last 2 games and all too as well. But it does worry me that their defense will not get better. Middleton won't be coming in helping that situation and all. They don't have the assets to make moves and all too as well. From what Brian Windhorst was saying on NBA Today this past week, honestly, where the Bucks are already scouring the league for trades and all, seeing who's available after only 12 games for them when they start the season and all. So I think they know they're worried about how their team may not get better throughout the season and all. I feel like Middleton is a glue that can keep them together, get them 500, have them in a situation where they can make the play-in at least and all. I think their talent should supersede enough where they're a top 10 team and all. But I'm concerned about them being a top 6 team and all. I don't see it, but I can see why there's optimism for the Sixers at least. No, not having 2 of your 3 top players to start the season at least, no, will put you in a doldrum to start the season and all. I can see some optimism there too as well, honestly. You got a guy at the wing, and when we're talking about defense, you have a guy at the wing in Paul George who may be older, but can play better defense than Middleton at his age at least and all too as well. You have a rim protector in Joel Embiid too as well. There are some pieces there. Caleb Martin is there. Andre Drummond as a backup big. If you're able to have Embiid playing at least and all, still gives you a force inside rebounding wise, defensive reading wise too as well and all. So there's just a whole lot more going there I think for the Sixers at least. Now look at Jared. I think it's Jared McClain right now for the Sixers and all. And with the injury to Maxey, has stepped up and had himself 2 back-to-back games, honestly, where his last game dropped 32 points and all. The Bucks don't even have a young player like that, and they've had Beauchamp, AJ Green a part of their rotation over the past couple seasons and all. And you got a young guy again in Jared McCain. Previously it was Tyrese Maxey, and you look at the money he got at least and all. It's those type of little things that I like about the Sixers and all. And they're still in the position to make a move before the trade deadline to add to their team and all too as well. More than again Milwaukee, who sucked out their second round draft picks for a trade for Jay Crowder and all. Gave out even more assets in the Drew Holiday trade too as well to get Dame Lillard and all. Not much I see where I'm seeing where we would have optimism to think that they could be a top 6 playoff team and be a true contender to win the Eastern Conference going forward and all too as well. So 2 surprising teams in the 12 and 15 range and all. I have a shit ton more optimism, as you can see, for the 76ers and all, because they have true injury concerns and all, and they can easily, if they get healthy and all, easily go on a run from January on. Typical 76ers get their hopes up and all, the fans at least and all, but still, I think they're more in a they seem to be more in a position from the outside looking in to make a run in the second half. After Christmas and all, even after the midway of January and all, but still make a run and put themselves in that play-in spot, win that play-in, and maybe make a championship run. Top 6 will be interesting and all, because it's not like the teams above them are seasoned playoff teams at least and all, but I do have more optimism for Philadelphia than Milwaukee at least and all. And when we talk about injuries and all too as well, that could easily fit for Milwaukee, where Giannis has not finished the season over the past couple of years and all. He's finished each year over the past 2 seasons with an injury, his lower back in the first round against Miami and all. And then the unfortunate, if it wasn't a calf, it was a calf injury. He had a weird calf injury last year and never came back for the Bucks and all. So in the way he's playing right now, playing at 100% force right now, I'll even give him 120% force right now. He is playing that hard right now, but I'm worried on the back end. Can he stay healthy throughout this season? Where they're gonna look at the 59 points he dropped against Detroit. He definitely needed all of them, most of them, to get into overtime and all, and he basically took over overtime. Where I believe he outscored the Detroit Pistons like 11-9 or something like that to finish off that game and all. So they needed every little point from Giannis to win that game and all. I'm curious if that can continue with his injury concerns and the way he's ended the past couple seasons and all too as well. So those are the teams from 12 to 15 and all. Optimism for the Sixers and all too as well. And about the bad teams with the Wizards and the Raptors, about the young youth that I like. Even though I mentioned that boy from Toronto and all, if you don't know, and Grady Dick at least and all, there are a few young players for the Wizards at least and all that I do like, and they do. And with Kuzma being quote unquote a potential trade asset. Apparently, he didn't want to get traded to Dallas, who made the finals and all too as well. So a little questioning of his decision making and all too as well. But still, at least both with those two teams, and we're talking about young players at least and all. I do like what the Wizards have to offer. If they stay healthy at least and all. Even trading a Kuzma at least and all too as well. It wouldn't surprise me if they made like some annoying noise towards the end of the season. No different from how the Atlanta Hawks beat the Celtics back-to-back times in March in the past season and all. So going to from 12 to 15 now, I guess we'll go from 11 to 7, basically talking about the play-in teams and all too as well. After that, we'll just do the top 6 and all. So from 11 to 7, we have the Charlotte Hornets, we have the Chicago Bulls, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Surprisingly, I'm very surprised by that. That is my surprise so far. At number 8, we have the Indiana Pacers, and at number 7, we have the Detroit Pistons and all. So we'll start at 11 and 10 with the Hornets and Bulls and all. Honestly, we should not be surprised that their young talent is showing out, honestly. Now, we talk about young talent. When I was talking about young talent with the Wizards and the Raptors and all, it elevates a bit when we get up here now, especially with the Hornets and the Bulls, in my opinion, honestly. With the Hornets, at least, we got LaMelo Ball, who's, some street baller player, in my opinion, honestly, but does hit some big shots, has had some big games and all. I think he's had a few 30-point games so far this season too as well. But the exciting part about the Hornets, honestly, is the development and progression of Brandon Miller, honestly. A man that compared himself, or a favorite player I should say, is Paul George and all. I'm pretty sure he compared himself to Paul George, and I was startled by him saying that. I don't mind a basketball player modeling the game to Paul George. Paul George is a pretty damn good player, honestly, even though I have my jokes about him and my critique about him too as well. But with Brandon Miller, at least with that comparison, that best player claim, at least he has shown out and shown some type of look of being Paul George and all through his first couple seasons and all. And I think he's played better than this. Obviously, he's played better than the start of his rookie year last year, honestly. But I think he's playing better than the end of the year. I think he's playing better than how his rookie year ended. I think he's playing better now, at least, if that makes any sort of sense there and all too as well. But let me see how he's shown out and all through the first, somewhat games of the year. He did deal with what's it called there? I think it was a hip injury for the first game of the season, so he did miss some time at least. But I'm trying to find his totals. Yeah, he's got over the last game against the Orlando. Unfortunately, in the group play, he only had 8 points and all, so womp to all that at least. But the games prior, 22 points against Philly, 29 points against Indiana in the win, 19 points against Detroit in a win too as well. Shooting the three too as well. The 29-point game was clearly his best game when he went 7 for 11 at least and all. But the reason why I say I'm liking him now than towards the end of his rookie year at least and all, the level of aggression I think has stepped up in my opinion too as well. With that duo with Ball and Miller, I think it has true potential to be something big. I do doubt that happening in Charlotte, at least and all. Charlotte has had their potential teams and all, and nothing has flashed or panned, at least and all, even though LaMelo Ball has made a couple playing games throughout his career, at least and all. But that duo has the potential to be a light ending duo, in my opinion. Lightning, I should say, duo, in my opinion, honestly, if they're able to stay healthy. That's why I call LaMelo Ball a street baller. He doesn't seem to be adding any type of muscle to his game right now. It still seems like he has the same frame than the frame that he entered the same frame that he entered the league with a few years back, honestly. So again, that's why I'm kind of worried about the injuries and all. Brandon Miller, curious to see how he develops throughout the season, at least and all. I'm not saying he's going to be some type of all-star or anything like that too as well, even though I do expect him to play in the rookie-sophomore game, however they play that during All-Star Week, and I do expect him to play in that and all. But I'm curious just to see how those two develop and all too as well. They have a potential to be dope duo in my opinion, and it could put them in the play-in and all if they're able to stay healthy. I'm what's it called there? I'm a little pushed back by the chances of them staying healthy, those two and all, but I really do like those two in the way they've started their season and all. They've had some interesting wins. I think their first win of the season against Houston, yeah, it was a good win and all. I'm trying to think of some other wins. Obviously, I mentioned Indiana and Detroit and all. Let me bring up their schedule since I've mentioned it. I'm just looking at Brandon Miller's games that he played at least. You know, but I feel like they've had a couple good wins, a couple surprising ones, unless I'm wrong. Trying to find them. Nope. Had a close loss to the Sixers at least. You know, so I guess that's the game I'm thinking that they won and all too as well. Trying to find some others. Nope. Just those games right there, honestly. That's what they only have 4 wins, to be real, honestly. But the fact that again, my excitement for them, honestly, is about Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, honestly. You got a backcourt type of situation, honestly. Big guards at the situation where I believe LaMelo Ball 6'6". I think Brandon Miller's 6'7" and all, too, as well. So if that can pan out, honestly, I do like where they're going forward and all. Health is just going to be the big thing, honestly, too, as well. I do like their new coach, and Charles Lee, former Celtics assistant, too, as well. It's just going to be health and all. None of their bigs have been playing from what I'm seeing, honestly. You got Mark Williams there. I believe a guy named Thor there. The only reason why I know that name is just how big he looks on the court. No matter to his name and all too as well. There is someone else there I'm sleeping on as a name at least and all too as well. If I'm able to bring the roster up, I'll bring it up. Let's see. Yeah, players. Trying to find another big that's hurt for them. Yeah, they've been playing Taj Gibson. Yeah, because I remember seeing Taj Gibson against the season and all. But, yeah, Mark Williams is one that I have not seen so far this year. I guess the Thor character is no longer on the team, or I just don't have a current roster in front of me and all. But they haven't had their bigs playing and all. So, again, that's what you're kind of worried about, too, as well, for their team and all. But it's interesting how limitless those two can be, because it could carry them into a playing spot and all. I'm hesitant towards it, but still very curious about how they look and all. The Bulls, same thing with their guard situation. You got Cody White there, Zach LaVine obviously there too as well, honestly. Let me see who else I'm sleeping on over there before I continue. Josh Giddey's had an interesting year so far. Obviously, Nikola Vucevic, there we go, before I butcher his name and all. As a center there is good over there. But another interesting team, Lonzo Ball and Dosunmu. There's the other guy missing that. But Lonzo Ball has come back. I don't think he's played every game this year too as well. I think he's out. Yeah, he's out for a time with a wrist injury, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. As long as it isn't about the knee, I'd be optimistic about him trying to play, throughout the season at least. Not a full campaign clearly, but at least 40 to 60 games at least and all. It wouldn't surprise me if he could pull that off. But with their guard play, as I was mentioning before, at least they can keep up for a playing spot through the rest of the year, at least They were a playing team last year. You're looking at Eastern Conference 2 as well, that's below 500. But Cody White with his guard play, Dosunmu with his, with the, what's it called there, max effort type of play at least because his game isn't as refined or clean, or smooth, I should say, as Cody White at least Zach LaVine, who's been putting up points this year too as well, honestly. I think they're another interesting team because of that guard play. To make noise in the Eastern play-in at least and all. Not too surprised with the Bulls at least because last year I feel like they showed out, but Zach LaVine basically being out the whole year. Cody White and the rest of the squad held it down and was able to get into the play-in even though they had a below 500 record at least and all. But optimistic about their guard play, how much noise they can make at the bottom at least and all. I'm not going to say they're going to run off and be some true playoff contender at least and all, but if their guard play can continue, it wouldn't surprise me if they made a play-in and all. Number 9 though, Brooklyn Nets. Definitely surprised how good they're playing. I shouldn't be because of the likes of, again, guard play with Dennis Schroeder and Cam Thomas. I'll even put Cam Johnson in there, even though he's technically a small forward, 3 at least and all. But I do like the way they're playing at least and all too as well, especially Cam. and all too as well. If they can continue this, wouldn't surprise me if he was an all-star and all too as well. If they can continue being like a play-in team, top 10 type of basketball team at least and all too as well. But again, another team that has some guard play. They play defense too as well. You got Dorian Finney-Smith on that team. You got Nick Claxton on that team too as well. So they do play some defense. Very impressed by Jordi Fernandez and their first year coach and all too as well. Didn't know much about him. That's why I kind of like, similarly to the coach of the Wizards and all, couldn't even tell you his name right now. So that's why I kind of had the Nets pegged down around the 12 or 11 to 15 range, if not the 13 to 15 range, honestly. I didn't think they'd be a good basketball team, but Jordi Fernandez has been impressive and all. First one of the season was against those aforementioned Bucks, at least and all too as well. Surprisingly, they're in the bottom and all. I'll keep making that joke and all, can't help it. But again, with Brooklyn, all surprising about their guard. It shouldn't be surprising with their guard play, but it is surprising how well they are playing defensively and how hard they're playing. They got a guy, Zaire Williams, who had a great year. We'll see about a great year at least, but he is having a great start. Had a great game against the C's, even though in the blow it at least, shown out. I think he had like 22 points midway the third quarter. Can't remember what he had to finish the game at least, but showed out. Played great defense too as well. Another cat there too as well. Last name Wilson is an interesting character there too as well. Was hitting the three very consistently for them too as well and all. So they got a very interesting roster. A lot of wings there too as well, skinny wings, but skinny framed wings at least and all. But they're young and they're athletic and they can move at least and all. So they look very interesting and all. They're able to get some picks and all. I doubt they make a move to make this team better. I do expect them to make a move to make them worse at least and all. So they finally have picks and they can finally make a pick in the draft, first round in the draft this year too as well, I believe. But definitely like where they are. Definitely surprised where they are right now. I do hope the way they play does continue and all too as well. Where it shakes out in my opinion, honestly. But it wouldn't surprise me if it continues. Cam Thomas for sure has shown out to be a prolific scorer at least in all. Other side of the court is a different question at least in all. But you can put the traffic cone label on him at least in all. But he can make up with some explosive offensive games in my opinion. Not even just some good, consistent offensive games. He can explode too as well and all. Dennis Schroeder being a veteran there too as well, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me if they keep this up and all. I do expect management to make a move to have them playing, at least lesser than being a playing team at least and all. I don't think they're gonna be a team that's gonna suck throughout the season at least and all, but I do think management will make a move, get rid of a Cam Johnson maybe, get rid of maybe a Dennis Schroeder at least and all, but I do expect that from management, but I do like what they got going. If this cultural word is real, then they're definitely building a culture towards whoever they draft with their number one pick. If they're lucky to get into the top 3 and have a chance to get a Cooper Flagg or an Ace Bailey. I would love Dylan Harper, but I don't think it would fit with Brooklyn and all when you have a Cam Thomas there at least and all. But if you want to be creative and all. But again, with the number 19 in the Brooklyn Nets, very surprised at where they're sitting, and wouldn't surprise me if it continues at least and all too as well. At number 8, definitely a surprising team here at 8 and all too as well. They don't have much injuries too as well, with the Indiana Pacers at 5 and 7 and all. Tyrese Halliburton has not shot the ball well at all through the first 12 games of their season so far. He did not play well at the end of the first half, because he had a great first half last year, but at the end of the season, second half of the season, he did not play well. His shot did go dormant. I know he was dealing with an injury that he was out with for a while. Even when Pascal Siakam was traded there, Halliburton still wasn't there. This was like January earlier this year of last season, and he never came back and never was the same in my opinion, honestly. Didn't play in the Olympics. He was okay in the playoffs too. He was very okay in the playoffs in my opinion, if not inconsistent in the playoffs, because he had a couple games, but he didn't really explode the way he exploded in the first half of last season, at least in all, where he led the Indiana Pacers to the then called in-season tournament final in Vegas against the Lakers and all. So, and even had his Dame time impressionable celebration when he beat the Bucks a game before getting into that final against the Lakers in the in-season tournament and all. So very worried about Tyrese Halliburton. I'm wondering if something has happened to him. I'm wondering if he's still dealing with an injury and all, because he has not looked the same. The fact that they've got Ben Mathurin back playing the way he's playing and all, a full off season with Pascal Siakam and all too as well. They put up points and all. I think they're like one of the top offenses still in the league and all too as well. And we're sitting there with Tyrese Halliburton not really showing up in games and all too as well. He's had a few single digit games honestly. So let me look at that first. I'm gonna look at Tyrese Halliburton stats. Let's bring those up. Stats, right? That's stats. You know, that awkward moment. Those awkward moments. I'm sorry. Give me a second. But yeah, he had a donut and a loss against the Knicks. He's had a 6-point game too as well. So two single digit games and all too as well. Guess it's just the 3-point shooting that's been alarming at least and all. 1 for 9 in the first game, 0 for 7 in the second game. He seemed to figure it out in games 3 and 4, going 4 for 9, but went 2 for 10, 1 for 6, 2 for 8, went 3 for 5 in a win against Orlando, but went 0 for 4. 4 for 10 in a win against the Knicks. Ironically, scored 35 points at least and all too as well. So finally, yeah, and that was his best game. That's his best game so far. A game against the Knicks at least and all. And yeah, and what's it called there? And then finally went 4 for 9 in the loss against the Heat, scoring only 18 points at least and all. And I missed. He's had 3 single-digit scoring games. He had 9 points in the loss against Orlando. In that looks like a group play. Is that one of the group play games? No, Miami. Well, Miami's the group play game. And also, yeah, on this past Wednesday, only scored 9 points and also. It's been alarming of his scoring numbers so far because let's bring up last year. He was not scoring like this to start the season last year. So that's why I wanted to get the comparison of how he started last year to this year. Yeah, the way he started last year, he didn't have a single-digit game last year until December 18th against the Clippers and all. He started the year, right? Yeah, started the year with 20, 21, 19, 18, 43, 23, 16, 29, 25, 33, 12, 37, 33, 26, 33, 44, 26, 27, 20, you know what I mean? And that's when he started slowing down and all too as well after that 8-point game and all. And I believe the injury probably came around that time too, yeah. Yeah, the injury came around that time too as well. So he just hasn't been the same since that moment. I'm trying to look for he didn't have any big games in the second half of last year too as well. And again, he didn't look great in the playoffs and all. I'm looking over his point stats at least and all in the playoffs. In his best game, he had back-to-back 30-point performances against the Knicks at least and all. So he had some moments there at least and all. And yeah, it makes sense that he had those moments because they won that series at least and all. But didn't play in the Olympics after too as well, and it was obviously more fanfare with Jason Tatum didn't play at least and all. But it was a little alarming that he didn't get any type of play too as well at the point guard position and all. A guy who can move the ball and played for FIBA and I think they call it the World Cup situation there too as well in 23 when I think they bronzed or got the silver at least and also. It's interesting how he's playing at least and all. I am concerned, like that's why I'm bringing this all up. I am concerned if it's gonna. I think it's gonna continue. Honestly, I just think he's probably dealing with something. Honestly, so I don't know if it gets better. That's my concern about the Pacers right now. Everyone else is playing great on their team right now too as well. That's what I was gonna look next was NBA stats for the league. Let me see if I can bring those up. Bring those up for the episode. Let's see. I'm trying to find the best offensive teams in the league. There we go. Let me find it. Let me see where they're at right now. Ooh, they're not tops. I don't see them till 16 in offensive rating. So that's interesting too as well. And yeah, I mean, so I think a big part of that is Tyrese Halliburton not playing well consistently or similarly to how he was playing to start the season last year at least and also. I am type concerned about it. I don't know if it changes honestly because 12 games in, I make fun of the Bucks at least and all, but Damian Lillard has shown out and had some big games, you know what I mean? With Tyrese Halliburton at least and all, he just hasn't shown out. The one time he's shown out against the Knicks at least and all, 35 points, and I bet he played up for that game at least and all. So maybe he can find that consistency and all. I'm type concerned though, like he hasn't been able to find it at least and all. You would think after the year that they had last year, he would want to get onto a hot start to start the season at least and all. So they're the surprising team from the 7 to 11 range for sure. I don't know if it gets better honestly. The only way it gets better if Tyrese Halliburton gets plays better. I just feel like we haven't seen the same Halliburton that we saw the first half of last year and all since his injury that he dealt with the beginning of this year toward basically the middle of the 2023-2024 season and all. We're not there no more apparently. So definitely the 24-25 season and all. So, but Indiana Pacers right now are at the 8th seed right now. Definitely they'll be a playing team no matter where Tyrese Halliburton game is. But I don't expect him to get better because he hasn't shown at least no. But if he does get better, I do expect the Pacers to get into a higher seeding spot from this point going forward at least and all. So we'll see. Definitely we'll see for Tyrese Halliburton, seeing if his game can get better and all. At number 7, a surprising team at least and all. You gotta like the way they've played at least and all. Are the Detroit Pistons and all. Low key, I think they have a big 3 brewing right there too as well, with 2 guards in Ivy and Cade, and a big in Jaren Duren who does all the cleanup stuff too as well. And isn't polished, but isn't so as raw than he came into the league at least not too as well. Is able to do a little bit more. A little bit more post up, a little bit more teardrop. You know what I mean? Just give you a little bit more than just the athleticism part of the game, at least, and also. But they got something brewing there. Tobias Harris, as much as his jokes, which were warranted and deserved from his time in Philly, at least, and all, is a dope veteran piece for that team and all. If you have a big 3 like that can play some defense too as well, that's what makes them very interesting. A guy like Malik Beasley fits better there than he fit with Milwaukee last year, where they don't play defense, and you're expecting him to be the head of the snake of your defense at least and all. With Detroit and all, I mean, I don't think Beasley's even starting and all, and if he is, you got Cade Cunningham at the point of attack, or you got Jaden Ivey at the point of attack defensively and all. And if you need support for Ivey or Cade Cunningham or Ivey can be that support, and you can keep Malik Beasley in the corner dealing with the corner shooter or whoever's or dunker spot, whatever is in that baseline situation for their defense at least. And also you gotta love that there. JB Bickerstaff looked bad in the first game when 6 players on the court. He got the 6 players on the court, tech and all, but the ironic thing, the best coach in the league called a timeout when he had no timeouts on the same court this past week and all. So those jokes, I didn't think it was a big deal. Look at that with your best coach and all, looking like Chris Webber back in like '94, the Final Four or whatever that was, calling the timeout and costing Michigan a championship season at least and all too as well with that mishap and all. So, but back to the Detroit Pistons at least and all. Great start for them and all. I think 6 wins right now. I think they only had 5 last year. Let me look. I think they had some crazy number last year. 14 last year. At this time last year, I think they only had like 3 wins at least and all. So the fact they're at 6 wins, or I think they got their 5th win like January because they had a long like 19-game losing streak last year, and also they didn't get their 5th win until probably January and all, and now they have 6 wins, and we're not even touching December yet and all too as well. So there's no way you cannot expect that ish to continue and all. Cade has not been able to stay healthy and all, I think, throughout a full season, so this could be his first season and all. Looks stronger than what he's looked throughout his first couple seasons too as well, just frame wise at least and all. Jaden Ivey, questions about those 2 working at least and all. It seemed to have worked and all. He's shown out, and I've mentioned Jalen Duren too as well as their 5 center. Doing some big things in my opinion, just rebounding wise, honestly. Looking like an Andre Drummond, a former Detroit Piston that was on that team and all. Now they got a Jalen Duren who's I don't think he's barely like 21 yet, and is looking like that and all too as well. So that's a team I'm very excited for moving forward at least and all. They just got to stay healthy and all. JB Bickerstaff, to his faults offensively for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we'll definitely get to them. Definitely deserves credit for for what he's done for the. They've basically done what he's done for the Pistons. I think he deserves merit for the Cleveland Cavaliers and all, a team that was in the mud and was able to get him to a play-in team and then eventually a playoff team and all. I think he can do the same thing for the Pistons and all, especially with the talent that they have in all defensively, from Cade to Jaden Ivey and to Jalen Duren and all. So a very nice team there.
at 7 and all. Wouldn't be surprised if they held that spot throughout the season and all too as well. The fact that they got 6 wins in November and they got their 5th win, I believe, sometime in January last year, I think it's a testament to JB Bickerstaff and his system, at least and all, because it proved it worked in Cleveland, not working to a sense where they can be a championship level team where Kenny Atkinson has ironically taken them, but the doldrums where Cleveland was a few years back to be a playoff team where they can take that next step. I think what JB Bickerstaff is doing is showing that his system can take, bottom of the doldrums type of team into a potential playoff contender and all too as well. We'll see because of the Pistons' history throughout the years, at least and all. Can they keep this up? But if these young players can stay healthy, those 3 specifically, even 2 out of the 3 at least and all, I would really want 3 of them to play though. So let me not put it out there. I want 3 of them. I want those 3 to stay healthy and play. I think they can definitely hold into a playing spot and all too as well. So that's what we have from 7 to 11 that we just broke down. Now we'll just do the playoff teams right now, at least and all. But very interesting, the teams that are technically in the playoffs right now in the East and all. So we'll go from 6 up. From 6, we got 6 Miami Heat at 5 and 6. Look at all those 6s. At number 5, we got the Atlanta Hawks at 6 and 7. At number 4, we have the New York Knicks at 6 and 6. The Orlando Magic at 3 at 8 and 6. Very surprisingly, to begin the season, not surprised, but obviously the injury that came up for them, very surprised where they're sitting. And the Boston Celtics at number 2 at 10 and 3, and at number 1 the Cleveland Cavaliers. Very surprisingly, at least not that they're tops of the Eastern Conference, but 14 and 0 and all. So again, we'll start from bottom up. Got the Miami Heat, surprisingly, at 5 and 6 and all. Microcosms of the Eastern Conference is why this Miami Heat team is 5 and 6 and in the playoffs right now at the 6th seed right now, because there's nothing to like about them in my opinion and all. They can't score. They're older, so they can't guard as well. Their young players are inconsistent and all. You like talent like Nikola Jovic and all, but is it consistent? He just had a big game again. He just had a big game. I'll bring up his stats and all, but he had a big. Who they faced last night? Yeah, they faced the what's it called there? The Indiana Pacers and all, beat them in their group play of the NBA Cup and all. Yeah, I'm giving him credit. He just had 11 points and all, so I like him. But again, there's only so much there for the Miami Heat and all, so it's not much there to like. Jimmy Butler's older. He's not even playing. He's dealing with the ankle injury and all. Tyler Hero stepped up big time in that game that I mentioned. Eric Spoelstra called the timeout when they didn't have any timeouts, and he called a tech for it. Tyler Hero dropped 40 points and all. Basically scored 19 points in the 4th quarter to force overtime too as well and also. But again, inconsistent. He's had his moments at least. Now Highsmith has looked like he's developed a 3-point shot and all. But again, are you expecting him to carry this team at least? No, Doug Robinson's been there for years. We all know what he is, even though he has more of a inside game or dribble game than he did to start his career, at least not more of a 3-point shooter. Jaime Jaquez is one of the young players I'm talking about. Good young player, but again, what consistency are you getting from him? And is he even a star potential player, at least in all too as well? And also, it's just the old ass adages for the Miami Heat, and I've made fun of a certain individual of that too as well. A staunch Heat, a staunch Heat supporter, at least in all, an acquaintance and friend of mine, at least in all, but still. There's not much to have high prospects with them too as well. Terry Rozier, another player there, can give you a big game here and there, but not consistently, where he can carry the team for you in stretches, at least and all. It's just stretches in a game, stretches throughout a 10-game sample size of the season and all too as well. It's just not going to happen and all. So there's not much to like about Miami. The statue ain't much to like for Dwayne Wade, ain't much to like too as well. I'll say about Miami and also I just don't think there's anything to like. I think it's the microcosm of the Eastern Conference. While they'll be sitting there as a top 10 team, could be from 10, could be the 4, honestly, because the way it's looking right now from 5 down, everyone's below 500 at least, and also I don't much like about. There's nothing to like about them. Like again, they can't score defensively. They're not great. And Bam Adebayo is their best defender, at least in all. If your best defender is your center, I don't think you have a good defense, at least in all too as well. The same way I talked about Milwaukee, Giannis and Brook Lopez being their defensive players, but you got nobody to guard right now, and making Brook Lopez looking worse than what he is, in my opinion, honestly. So I, even though, I got a little stickling against the Miami Heat and all too as well, but there's not much to like. There's nothing I feel like to move forward and be excited about the Miami Heat and all. I think if they played more through a Bam Adebayo, it gives them more of a chance and all. But they don't do that. They rely on their guards to get things going and all too as well, and they use Bam as an afterthought on their offense and all. So it's just, if they use Bam, there's my optimism for them. If they use Bam Adebayo more in their actions as a scorer than more as a picker or more as a guy that creates screens and stuff, like creates space and stuff like that in that way by creating back corner screens or backdoor screens, I should say, and all. There's not much, and you should see my face right now. There's not much I like about the Miami Heat and all. So number 5, the Atlanta Hawks. There's something to like over there, honestly, in Atlanta, especially where I'm living and all. Especially if they trade Trae Young, in my opinion and all. But that may be a conversation we talk about in January, February and all. Because when he didn't play against my Celtics, at least and all, Dyson Daniels had another game of 6+ steals and all. I'm not sure where his streak is now. But into the Celtics game, he had 6+ steals. Let me look at his stats. I'll have to look for more entrenched stats. So give me a moment to see how many steals he got. Yeah, no way. He got another 6 steals against the Washington Wizards. Go Dyson Daniels. Yes, now he's got 4 straight games with 6 steals or more in a game and all. And this is without, I don't believe Trae Young's played. I think Trae Young's played, I talked about this on Twitter Spaces with a couple people and all, but I think Trae Young's played in one of those games and all. But Dyson Daniels is a fan of mine. I understand why the Pelicans traded him, because you're bringing in DeJounte Murray and all. Ironically, he's hurt and all too as well. But a big fan of Dyson Daniels and all too as well. Hated that the Pelicans got rid of him, but liked where he went and all. He's looking like a guy that can be a point guard on a starting team, a starting playoff team, honestly. I'll go that deep, honestly. They have another guy there, and Jalen Johnson and all too as well, who's shown out since last year, in my opinion. Not a little injury, but an injury that kept him out for a fair amount of time throughout last year. But I think he would have shown out a bit more, honestly. But obviously a high jumper, but he's shown out more game, in my opinion. A dribble and pop game, a 3-point game too as well. We all know about the dunking ability that he has and all too as well. And then the number 1 pick, Ben Gunner, who you've heard on this show, was a big fan of Atlanta drafting him number 1. Me too, honestly. I would have said Sarr to start, but Richie Shear was showing more ability at the wing position too as well and all. I think he's shown it out this year. I think he's had the best point performance for a rookie with his 32-point game. Let me look it up real quick. I think it's that. I can't even spell his name yet, so it's going to be a little hard for me to find his stats real quick, so bear with me. Awkward moment coming up in IE, because I don't know how to spell his name right now. Zachary Richeche. There we go. Richeche. Yeah, I have to get better with that, honestly. It's like when Giannis came in the league, it was hard to get Antetokounmpo down. But I still can't spell it off the top of my head, at least and all. I can say Richeche, but spelling it's going to be a challenge, at least and all, for the time being. But yeah, he dropped 33 points in the win against the New York Knicks and all too as well. I think maybe Trae Young. Well, I don't think Trae Young played that game either. No, Trae Young played that game because he told the Knicks fans to get out of the State Farm Arena and all. So he did play that game. So it is impressive, Trae Young playing, that the young rookie was able to drop 33 points in the game and all. So, but there's a lot to like about Atlanta and all. The way I have nothing good to like about Miami going forward, at least and all. There's a lot to like about Atlanta and all. I don't believe even though DeAndre Hunter's an inconsistent basketball player throughout his career, at least in all the start, I don't think he's played yet and all too as well. Lance Jr. is a bench revelation and all for them too as well, honestly. There's a lot to like about their roster, and a team that you should like to make noise in the East, honestly, especially the way we look about how youthful the league is now, especially when we go over to the Western Conference and all too as well. There's a lot to like about the Atlanta Hawks, honestly, in my opinion. It's about staying healthy, honestly. That's the big thing about everything, honestly. But if they can stay healthy, another team I wouldn't be surprised being in the top 10, being top 5. Excuse me. I'd be very surprised if they're a top 5 team throughout the season, at least and all. But being a top 10 team throughout the year and all, I would not be surprised, honestly. If I were if I were management of Atlanta Hawks, I would consider moving Trae Young. My issue about why of thinking to move Trae Young, where is he going, and who's interested in Trae Young at least and all, and that's what makes this question interesting at least and all. So I don't know if he ever does get moved at least and all, but if they can figure out something with Trae Young and all with that defense there too as well, because they have potential defensive players, defensive all-team players. Honestly, Dyson Daniels with these four straight games of 6 steals is amazing. Honestly, Jalen Johnson ability, Ricochet, I should say, ability and all too as well. Capella as a rim protector, no duh. Akonju too as well, still there. Honestly, rim protector had a big tip against my season to win. In one of the group plays and all this week and also no, it's just. I think that a way I'm like so staunch about the Heat, and there's not a lot to like there moving forward. The Atlanta Hawks, if they can stay healthy, a lot to like move forward, honestly. So even though I don't think they'll keep a top 6 seeding, I do think I wouldn't be surprised they're able to stay top 10 at least and all, and battle for a play-in to get into the playoffs at least and all. So that's them at 5. At number 4. New York Knicks are interesting. They're 500, one of the few 500 teams. Only four 500 teams in the Eastern Conference right now. But offensively, obviously, there's a lot to like. Honestly, a lot to like moving forward. Honestly, for them too as well. Defensively, just give them Mitchell Robinson back. I think they're just fine in my opinion. Honestly, there's a lot of overreaction with them too. Honestly, and they're in a position to make a move, make a waiver move, and probably make one trade and all that, add to their bench and all too as well. There's, obviously there's the noise about Tom Thibodeau playing 8 players and all too as well. Just playing 8 players and playing them 40 minutes, 35 plus minutes and stuff like that. But he's done that every time in his career and all, and it's seemed to work out and all. So I do expect it to continue and all. They'll probably have their knacks and injuries throughout the season and all. But if they're able to get Mitchell Robinson back, they'll be interesting. Again, Mitchell Robinson is a guy who can't stay healthy and all. So be curious if they're able to get him healthy and make a move. Move him and find another center to add in all too as well. I would love Robert Williams, even though former Celtic and would help the Knicks out a lot, honestly. But again, another injury-riddled player and all, but a 5 that would be great for them, so they can have Karl-Anthony Towns at the 4 and all too as well. And he's shown out, has some big games all offensively for them. And I don't think they're anywhere near the peak that they could be offensively. So that's why I still have a lot of faith about the Knicks moving forward and all. They're going to hold this top 4 position no matter what, in my opinion. They're too good. They're probably outside of Boston and now Cleveland. Outside those 2 teams, I think they're the best offensive team in the Eastern Conference at least. And also just that alone, you saw how the Indiana Pacers were able to be a 2 seed last year. Was it a 2 seed or a 3 or a 4 seed? Okay, they were a 6 seed last year. I'm sorry. Throughout the season, at least and all, they were able to keep that 2 seed at least and all. Again, Halliburton getting hurt at least and all did hurt them at a certain stretch throughout the year and all too as well. So I think that's why they fell off a little bit. I don't think they missed it by that many games, right? They missed it by 3 games. They missed the top seed by 3 games at least and all. So again, with the Knicks, who were a 2 seed last year, right? Yeah, they were a 2 seed last year at least and all. With that offense at least and all, I do expect them to keep the top 4 seed. It's interesting what they do with Mitchell Robinson. Do they bring him in, trade him? Do they make another move to add to their bench too as well? Those are the type of stuff I'm interested with the Knicks at least and all, because they're able to pull that off. They're going to be a formidable team going forward at least. They got to fix those 2 instances of their 5 positions so they can move Cat to the 4 at least and all. And then you can take out OG, Mikal Bridges or Hart and then put him on the bench. You're deepening your bench a little bit. Make one slight move either off the waiver wire or through a trade or both, honestly, towards the end of the second half of the season. I'm going to like them a little bit more, honestly. Like if they picked up a Lonnie Walker from overseas at least and all, made some small-time trade to pick up a defensive-oriented player at least and all, an effort-oriented player with Deuce McBride already there. If you're able to have Mitchell Robinson or replace him for another 5 at least and all, and take Josh Hart and put him on your bench and all too as well. And now you have Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, and whoever 5 there you have there, Robinson, or a personal favorite for me would be Robert Williams there. A very formidable team defensively, and obviously a high-octane offense and all too as well. With a guy like Tibbs who coaches discipline and all too as well. They'll be a disciplined team going forward and all. So that's a team I can't knock them going forward, at least not for a team that can't figure it. And I think hasn't touched their peak offensively. The fact that they're 6-6, no matter where they're seated and all, I think is impressive. That's where you would think Milwaukee would be or Philly would be, no matter what they're dealing with. You think they'd be 500 and all. That's why the Knicks, I think, avoid those type of jokes and all. You know they're bringing in a new player in. You know they're missing a center. You know, even though the center does get hurt a lot, if he's playing, he's a high-end rim protector and all too as well. You're missing those type of things and all too as well. So you have those type of situations, as I say, for the Knicks and all. And the fact that you're 500 is a testament of your. Even though Tibbs gets that knock for overplaying his players, they're playing well enough to be 6-6. Even though through those issues that they're dealing with and all too as well. So I like them going forward. I like where they're sitting too as well, honestly. And I do expect them to be a top 4 team throughout the year and all, if health is on their side at least and all. A surprise team at number 3. Not a surprise going into the season, but when the season started and their best player got hurt, and Paolo Banchero being out for a fair amount of weeks now, I believe the max maybe 8 weeks he's out right now. And they had a couple bad losses. We're sitting there at 3-7, no different from a Milwaukee and the Philadelphia 76ers. They've turned their season around, or I should say maybe 3-6 or something like that, or 2-5 or something like that, because now they're sitting at 8-6 right now at the 3rd seed of the of the Eastern Conference standings right now too as well. You have a guy like Franz Wagner who stepped his game up since Paolo's been out too as well, still playing that defense. Jamal Mosley still coaching his butt off and all too as well. I'm very surprised they're sitting there at the 3rd position honestly too as well, and they're doing it the same way that they were doing with Paolo, and also another testament to pretty damn good coaching and all, differently from Milwaukee and Philadelphia honestly. I'm throwing those type of cracks honestly to those two teams, because that's why those two teams are in those positions and all. The excuses of injuries, the excuses of bringing in new players and all. It's coaching. Look at and we'll get to the top team in the Eastern Conference too as well. Another testament to coaching too as well. But to Orlando, to be losing your best player and the way the best player was playing, you could have put him in the top 3 of the MVP ladder and all. You lose him, you lose 2 bad games in a row and all. You come back and win. Let me just do it for Orlando, because they've been playing that well. To start the season, let's how the season started. My favorite game so far this year. They blew out the Miami Heat and all. I think throughout the game they had a 30-point lead and all, and ended up winning it by 19 at least and all. But win against the Nets, a loss against the Grizzlies, a win against the Pacers. So they went 3-1 to start the year and all. I believe that's where Paolo got hurt, and then they lost to the Bulls. Or this is where Paolo got hurt, I believe, in this stretch here. I'm not sure exactly, but they lost to the Bulls, they lost to the Cavs, lost to the Mavs, lost to the Thunder, lost to the Pacers. So 4 straight losses like that. But I like their response after figuring themselves out and all. Beat the Pelicans, they beat the Wizards, not good teams right now, so let's put an asterisk there, but able to beat the Hornets, who I think is a young up-and-coming team at least and all, beat the Pacers now, and beat the Magic. So since that 5-game losing streak, they went on a 5-game winning streak and all too as well, beating the Sixers, again, downtrodden team and all, with their injuries at least and all. And then I mentioned the Wizards and the Pelicans, when we get to the Western Conference, we know what they're dealing with and all too as well. But with the Magic being the Pacers at least on this past Wednesday, winning 5 straight games after losing your best player and all, that's the type of response I want to see from a team after dealing with adversity, dealing with issues and all, similarly to the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks and all too as well. So I want to give Orlando Magic the credit there too as well. Number 2, Boston. We all know how I feel about Boston. I won't go too deep there. I think they are by far the best team in the league, even though standings don't say it and all. But I will digress and all. Porzingis hasn't played, mind you. So let's just get to the one team and all, to the 1-seeded team right now with the Cleveland Cavaliers sitting there at 14-0. Their best start, I believe, in franchise history and all too as well. I think they're top 5 and best starts in history, at least and all, to start the season too as well. But I love the way they're playing and all. Team is fully healthy and all too as well. Kenny Atkinson has come in and got that team humming and all, like you would think and all, with young players like Ty Jerome, and Sam Merrill is using guys like that in their rotation all too as well. Obviously this is going to continue and all. They are not going anywhere and all too as well. I do think they're peaking a bit, honestly, too, as well. So when that first loss happens, let's see how they deal with adversity and all. But you gotta like their way they're playing over the first 14 games and all. They've been in close games over the past couple games and all, too, as well. And they're coming out with wins and all, too, as well. Evan Mobley is a revelation right now, where we're looking at him as an all-star. Darius Garland, if he doesn't break his face and all, too, as well, should be an all-star, too, as well. You're looking at a team that's probably going to have 3 all-stars with Donovan Mitchell and all, which is going to be more annoying as a Boston Celtics fan, that this team will have easily 3 all-stars, and we're seeing in the team that's that sit there, I think top 10 in net rating of all time and all, couldn't even get 3 all-stars on their team and all. In Cleveland, most likely will get 3 all-stars on their team and all, because Darius Garland is a former all-star and can put up points. Donovan Mitchell's a perennial all-star, will definitely be an all-star. And at the 5, but the bigs, at least, and all throughout the Eastern Conference and all, the way Evan Mobley's playing right now, take out Paolo, take out Cat, take out Paolo, take out Cat, and take out Giannis, at least and all. Evan Mobley's right there as top bigs, top forwards, top centers, just a combination of all bigs in the Eastern Conference to start the season and all, too, as well. Even I can't shake that as a Celtics fan and all, with no Porzingis to start the season and all. I'm sorry, I guess Jason Tatum is more like a wing to me, so that's why I mentioned Jason Tatum. He would technically fit this and all, too, as well, but you put Jason Tatum in the mix, put obviously Cat with the way he started his year, Paolo, even though he got hurt, so it may hurt his all-star and all, but I'm going to put him in the list because he's had such a great start and all. And Giannis, obviously, too, as well. Outside those 4 power forwards, at least, and all, I think Evan Mobley sits right there in the mix of those guys and all with the start of his season, too, as well. So expect that to continue, too, as well. He got himself a big contract. There's no reason why he won't feel motivated to keep playing like this, too, as well. Darius Garland, just don't break your face, and you'll be just fine, in my opinion, too, as well. Donovan Mitchell seems to be, playmaking more than scoring and all, too, as well. Almost got his first triple-double the other night, too, as well, and all. They got the cookie rumbling right now. Kenny Atkinson, to testament to coaching, has proven this before with his time in Brooklyn, getting a Jaren Allen and D'Angelo Russell led team to the playoffs and giving the Philadelphia 76ers an interesting series. I think a gentleman's sweep, at least, and all, but an interesting start to the series, at least, and also. And the Nets and the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Brooklyn Nets sent them off and all. And we all know as NBA fans how that turned out, at least, and also a testament to great coaching why Cleveland has had this start, at least, and all, why they will continue this start. Well, they'll probably be, if they're not 1, they'll be the 2 seed, at least, and all. Let's just see. I'm curious to see how Boston looks when Kristaps comes back, and all, too, as well, how both teams measure up to each other. Both teams do play, ironically, on my birthday, November 19th, and all, this upcoming Tuesday and all, too, as well. So that's going to be fun to watch, honestly. I don't believe Kristaps is gearing up. Now I'm bringing up Boston Celtics stuff, but he is gearing up and all, too, as well. So I don't think he'll be ready to play Tuesday, but I do expect him to play sometime before December, at least, and all, if not the first week of December, at least, and all. So by far, these are the best 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. I do think that last. If there is a team to maybe come up into the conversation, it's going to be, to me, Orlando. It could be New York if they make the right moves, at least, and all. But I do think it's Orlando. Before the season, I would have put Indiana in this mix and all, but I'm worried about Halliburton. I don't know if he's the same. I don't know if he's the same right now. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury and all, too, as well, and it's just playing through it, I should say, and all, too, as well. But guy like Boston and Cleveland as the true number 1 seeds and all. Orlando, ironically, them being number 3, even without being their best player, I think is the only team that can really challenge throughout the regular season. It's a different story when we hit the playoffs and all, but throughout the regular season, that can maybe challenge for the top 2 seeds, at least, and all. But there's my breakdown for the Eastern Conference and all. Now it's time for the Western Conference standings and all. From 15 to 1, we'll start from bottom up. Let's go from 12 to 15. We got 15, the Utah Jazz, 14, New Orleans Pelicans, 13, the Portland Trailblazers, and 12, surprisingly for now, the Dallas Mavericks. Number 15, again, for like the Eastern Conference, and surprisingly, let's say the 14, New Orleans Pelicans as well. But similar to the Eastern Conference, 13 and 15, not so surprising with the Utah Jazz and the Portland Trailblazers, both at their respective positions and all. Utah Jazz do have young talent and all, but Danny Ainge is their general manager at least, and also I don't expect them to be competitive throughout the season and all. Trailblazers have some young talent, have played well over the past couple of games. I think the last two games they beat the T Wolves. Yep, they beat the T Wolves back to back over the past couple of games, and also that's why they're sitting there at 5-8 right now. But I do expect them to stay. I do like their young players and Henderson, obviously Robert Williams and all there, and even Scoot Henderson to a degree right now. He's flashed more than he did any time last season and all, in my opinion and all. So I do like their young talent there. I just expect them to make some trades and all. Like Jeremy Grant's been there, been in trade talks. I do expect him to be in trade talks again and all. We'll see if he gets moved and all. Does have a big contract. I do expect Robert Williams, now healthy for the moment, at least and all, to get moved at the end too as well. So I just think they won't be competitive, towards the second half of the season and all. So that's why I expect them to stay at this position where they're at right now. Surprisingly though, the New Orleans Pelicans there at 4-9, definitely have dealt with injuries since the beginning of the season. Zion Williamson didn't start the season. DeJounte Murray fractured his hand, if not wrist, first game of the season and all. I don't think even Brandon Ingram started the season on time too as well. He's playing right now. Jose Alvarado's gotten hurt. CJ McCollum is now hurt. Trey Murphy didn't start the season, but I do believe he's playing right now. But they don't have a center right now too as well. They have a young guy in Misi, I think, and a former Celtic and Daniel Tyson and all, but nothing to rave where they can have them starting at the 5 position and all. So Herb Jones even got hurt too as well, I believe now too as well, or not now. I think in the second, if not third game of the season against the Warriors, he got hurt his shoulder and all. So they're just dealing with injuries. They could stay at this position for how deep the Western Conference is right now. So it's interesting to see if other teams deal with injuries so they can maybe climb up the standings. I don't want them to be 14 all season, but they'll be battling for a playing spot at this position where they are right now and how good the top is looking in the Western Conference right now. It's hard for me to see them making a run to get into the top 6 position for the playoffs, but maybe a top 10 position, 7 to 10, and they can be a playing team and all. So you hope they can get healthy and all. For the Mavs, tough losses. They've lost a bunch of close games and all. I know all their losses have been clutch games at least and all. I don't think they've been blown out this year. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of close games. They've blown out teams and all, but they haven't been blown out. They just lost a whole bunch of close games throughout the season and all. Yeah. Probably the only blowout loss is against the Suns, and they lost by 12. And I feel like that game was close too and all throughout. And maybe the Suns just finished it off in the fourth quarter and all. But they're basically healthy and all. I don't like the Klay Thompson starting, and I feel like that's probably hurting their defense a bit. Luka Doncic has looked bad at these end of the games defensively and all. But I don't know if it changes. Luka has the potential of carrying the team for a stretch and all, and going off for some 30-point triple-doubles and all. Kyrie Irving, obviously, too, as well. So maybe that could be the difference of how they're playing. Derek Lively apparently has not played well throughout the season, too, as well, honestly. So I don't know about the Mavericks, honestly. I was high on them to start the season. I thought they were a top 4 team. But their defense hasn't looked good. I don't think it's going to look good if Klay Thompson's starting. I thought Najee Marshall would be starting for them. But it looks like they want to get Klay Thompson going and all, and see what happens and all. But if Klay Thompson is starting, I don't like this team. I like Najee Marshall starting for this team and having coming off the bench and all. Jason Kidd is a player's coach, so he's going with the players right now. So we'll see. I'm not too optimistic if they keep this going with Klay Thompson starting at least and all. They'll be in games and all, but I just think they're going to be struggling at the end of the games because throughout the game they're not stopping teams and all. So I'm going to be worried about them. I'm going to put the worry word around them and all for their start and all, and I don't know if they can make some noise. The way I'm talking about the Pelicans and getting to the play-in, I think the Mavs can obviously do that, but noise to get into the top 6 at least and all. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know if Klay Thompson is starting for them and I think they're going to be struggling defensively if that continues and all. So that's the 12 to 15. We'll go do 7 to 11. 11, we got the San Antonio Spurs. At 10, we got the Los Angeles Clippers. At 9, we got the Sacramento Kings. At 8, we got the Grizzlies, and maybe a surprise, but with the trade, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise to their start. At number 7, the Minnesota Timberwolves and all. We'll start at 11 with the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama is showing out lately and all. Had a 50-point game a couple games ago. I think even had 7 blocks a few games ago too as well in the game and all. So he's finally showing out. Devin Vassell is finally back healthy. Stephen Castle, I think it's Stephen Castle, is showing out as a rookie too as well, honestly, with his defense and his effort plays too as well, honestly. Even with his driving game too as well is showing out early in the season too as well, honestly. So I think a great start for them, honestly. I thought they could be a teetering playing team and all, the same there at 11 with a slow start in my opinion too as well, honestly. So Sohan, I believe, is out right now too as well. Maybe is helping out with Wemby and his numbers at least too as well, honestly. But a lot to like with the Spurs, honestly. It's the unfortunate thing about Greg Popovich at least and all, but he seems to be getting healthy at least and all too as well. So that's probably like their main negative right now, in my opinion too as well. Even though with their slow start, no one expected them to be a playoff team right now. So the fact that they're figuring it out, Wemby's really showing out too as well, honestly, which could be a huge thing for them, honestly, too, as well, because he is a potential MVP candidate if they can get into the top 10 scenario, honestly, and can continue playing how he's playing and all. Seems to have found the shot a bit too as well, honestly. So a lot to like about the Spurs, and I think they can make a lot of noise in the Western Conference again if they can stay healthy and all, at least in the top 10 scenario. I won't say no guaranteed playoff contender or a championship contender, but definitely a team that can make some noise and be an interesting playing team, at least if they can if Wemby can really keep this up, honestly. So at number 10 we have the Los Angeles Clippers, obviously with no Kawhi and all too as well to start the season and all, but obviously with the players that they have are going to be in some games defensively at least and all. I just worry about their scoring when James Harden is your number one guy, and Norman Powell, I believe, coming off the bench is your next best scoring threat at least and all. So that's really my worry about them. If Kawhi Leonard comes back and is healthy at least and all, this is a scary team at least and all. I will go there with them, but he has to come back and be healthy, honestly. If he's not that, this is just I think they're a 500 team, honestly. If they're 500, they won't make the playoffs. They won't be able to keep this top 10 spot, in my opinion, honestly. If Kawhi is not healthy, at least and all, you're seeing with their 6-7 record, even without Kawhi to start the year, they can stay in games at least, win some games here and there, honestly, and clearly be a 500 team. And they got a dope coach there, and Tyronn Lue at least, and also just a little bit concerned about their offense at least, and if Kawhi can come back and be healthy, they can be a scary team. I'll give them that going forward and all. It's just a matter of that, and that's just a huge if going forward at least and all. So that's where they're at 10 for the first 3 weeks of the season at least and all. We got the going into number 9 with the Sacramento Kings and all. I do wish they were higher at least and all, but not surprising where they're at with a new addition of DeMar DeRozan, which I don't believe played last night. Or has played lately. I know Monk didn't play last night too and all. I didn't see him on the court when I was going over the tape at least and all, or the highlights at least and all. Let me say that, not tape. Let me just say highlights at least and all. But didn't see him on the court at least and all. So I'm curious if he's been playing and all. But what's it called there? Darren Fox dropped 60 points the other night too as well, in the loss unfortunately and all too as well. But again, no DeMar, no Malik Monk at least and all. So I can understand why he got the 60 and why they still lost with him getting 60 at least and all too as well. But still like where they're at least and all. I believe I saw or heard a stat that if it's not them, their top 2 net rate, their starting 5 is top 2 in all the league and all too as well, honestly. So that's a great thing to see in my opinion. I think that can obviously bode well for them moving forward at least and all, that their net rating with their starting 5 is top 2 in the league at least and all. And they got plenty of, that's without Malik Monk apparently, because I don't believe he's starting for them too as well. And he was a 6 Man of the Year candidate last year. And yeah, again, he didn't play last night and all. So if they can just to continue this and all, stay healthy, fairly healthy at least and all, they got to figure things out defensively. But I think being defensive consistently is a misnomer in the Western Conference at least and all. Because I believe there's only like 2 defensive teams at least and all. And the Eastern Conference I think there's a ton more defensive teams at least and all, especially if the Knicks figure themselves out. There's more defensive-oriented teams in the Eastern Conference at least and all. So throughout the year, I think the kids could be okay without defense at least and all. If they don't bring it, they're going to need to bring it if they want to make some type of run in the playoffs at least and all. But for now in the regular season, if they can keep their offense up at least and all, I do expect their defense, which got better last year compared to the year before, to get into some type of form where they can be some type of contender at least and all throughout the season at least and all. So that's where Sacramento is at 9. At 8, Great surprise for this team, at least and all, because they're going through some injuries here and there, at least and all, but not as bad as it was last year, at least and all. But the Memphis Grizzlies are there at number 8 with a 7-6 record and all. You can really throw, like, again, I think Taylor Jenkins is one of the best coaches in the league. I think he's top 3 in the league right now, and you're seeing it again. Honestly, they've added better depth than they did last year, in my opinion. With the trade, getting Marcus Smart and all, letting Dylan Brooks go and all, you can understand why they're, and Tyus Jones left too as well, honestly. You can understand why their depth took a hit last year and all, but getting guys like Jay Huff, getting guys like Scottie Pippen Jr., honestly, and surprising is that to those type of guys that are making noise and all. But those guys are making noise with their injuries that they're, with JJ, Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. being out from time to time, John Morant now out, Marcus Smart out from time to time too as well, honestly. It's been huge for Scottie Pippen Jr. I think he's at a triple-double, and I think Jay Huff's dropped close to 30 points in the game earlier in the side of the season at least, and also they've gotten great help from their role player. Semi Aldama has been a revelation to me, honestly. I think he's a legit legit bench player, 6-man of the year type of candidate, type of player, if they get healthy and all. And this is a team that hasn't even seen Gigi Jackson yet too as well. So obviously the better depth is going to keep them in contention. This is a team that's been like 20 games above 500 without John Morant, without in the regular season at least and all, when he hasn't played at least and all. So when they have the appropriate, minus last year at least, and I think last year probably kills that record at least, but the year before they were pretty damn good with Tyus Jones as their point guard when John Morant would miss a fair amount of games at least and all. So I think with Scottie Pippen and what he's shown at least and all, Taylor Jenkins I think being the top end coach, if not top 3 coach in the league at least and all, I do expect this to continue even with their injuries here and there at least and all. And obviously if they can keep this up and they get healthy at least and all, a team that can make some noise moving forward in the Western Conference and all, in the team. A fair amount of the team that was like a top seed in the Western Conference a couple years back is still there with John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Brandon Clark there too as well. I even believe Luke Kennard was part of that team, if not towards the end, because I know they traded for him at least and all, either off season or in season. Can't remember. Well, in season I believe, when he was with the Clippers and they traded for him in season and all too as well, because I believe I wanted the Celtics to go after Luke because he was rumored to get traded or get moved at least and all. So, but that's where the Memphis Grizzlies are at number 8 in the Western Conference and all. Number 7, and a bit surprised, but with the move for Julius Randle, you understand why their offenses figure themselves out and all. Is the Minnesota Timberwolves and all. Not the same defensive team that they were last year at least and all. I do think it will come when they figure out what they're doing offensively. They are jacking up a lot of threes and all too as well, so it seems to be an emphasis and all. I'm not a fan of Chris Finch playing Joe Ingles and Mike Conley so many minutes at least and all. There is a Rob Dillingham and a Terrence Shannon that Tim Conley drafted and all, so I think they should be playing more and all. But it is it's interesting, you know what I mean, where they're at right now too as well, especially where they're at defensively and all. They are a team that's teetering and all. I don't know the prospects of them getting better since Chris Finch isn't playing Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon more consistently at least and all. So I don't know how much better they can get. And Edwards is obviously an MVP type of caliber player and all, if their team is playing right at least and all. But I'm just curious how better they can be offensively with the rotation that Chris Finch as their coach right now is playing and all. So they're an interesting team right now. Obviously can go up or stay the same. I don't think they can get worse where they're at right now, but it wouldn't surprise me if they stayed as a playing team right now. So I'm curious how much better they can get offensively and all if those young players aren't getting some run throughout the first half of the first half, whatever, first quarter of the season and all, however it turns out for them and all. So those are the teams from 7-11 and all. So 7-11, yeah. So we'll finish it off with the top 6 teams. So far that would be guaranteed making the playoffs and all. An 8th, like again, 12 games into the season and all, so nothing's guaranteed right now. But it is interesting to have these 6 teams above 3 games or more above 500 and all. And the bottom 2 teams looking interesting, and a team in the top 4 that's very surprising. And I think as much as surprising as they are there, will stay there and all too as well if they can stay healthy and all, because of their coach honestly, who did some big things in Boston and all before his unfortunate ending and all. So we'll start at 6 with the Denver Nuggets and all, who had a slow start to the season and all. Jokic didn't. Probably had a slow start in Game 1 against Chet Holmgren, but has had a great start ever since, honestly, in my opinion. Obviously, probably the MVP leader of the league right now too as well. But he has the Denver Nuggets. They're sitting there at 7-4 after their kind of slow start. Murray has come on lately though too as well. Russell Westbrook's been a good pickup so far when you look at it, honestly too as well. But I'm just curious. I'm too curious. I'm just curious how the young players are going to step up and all. It's more about Strother. I think Peyton Watson is what he is at least and all. He'll bring something for them. I think it's more about Strother. If he can really step up and give you some big games off the bench, especially from the 3-point line too as well. It's not a team that typically takes a lot of threes. It's usually just Murray taking a whole bunch of threes on that team, and also Strother can come in, do his thing and all, coming off the bench, hit some threes for them and give them some high energy. That'd be a big thing for them, honestly. So, but they are what they are, in my opinion. Honestly, they are a top 6 team and all. I don't know if they're a top 4 team right now, but I do think they're going to be hanging around the 5-6 seed, in my opinion, and I'll probably avoid that playing scenario, honestly. At number 5, I guess to some people a bit of surprise and all. I think to me a bit of surprise. I think they were a playing team coming into the season. Again, an 8th into the season. They've only played 12 games out of 82 and all. But the Lakers, they're at 8-4 and all. Gotta like what JJ's doing with Anthony Edwards and all. If it's not Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis is right there as an MVP candidate too as well, especially players coming out of the Western Conference and all too as well. He's got him going with pin downs and all. Giving him the ball at the top of the key on the run, at least on the move and all, and setting up his mid-range game too as well. We've seen a lot more of his shooting, and then even showed out his 3-point shot against the San Antonio Spurs last night and all too as well. So a great start for him. LeBron James, 39 years old, 4 straight triple doubles, and all. What more can you say about that and all too as well? So like my only concern is their scoring from their ancillary players enough to keep this up. Honestly, I don't think so. I think this is the team that should make their move for Zach LaVine. Honestly, if the money and the pieces make sense, honestly, because I think that's what they need. LeBron James is clearly being their point. Someone mentioned it that I heard earlier, if not yesterday and all, that LeBron James is basically the point guard of their team and all. I wholeheartedly agree with his 4 straight triple doubles for them, honestly, too as well. They just need someone that can put the ball on the floor as a dribbler at least and all, able to get his own basket on his own at least and all. And I feel like Zach LaVine would fit perfectly for a situation like that for the Lakers at least and all too as well. As long as you're able to keep some of those defensive players around like Evando or a Rui Hachimura at least and all, I would think he would have to get moved in a situation like that because of the money aspect, because Zach LaVine almost brings in $50 million a year at least, and also got to figure out a way to match it. But if they're able to get creative with a move like that, maybe even bring in Pat Williams in a trade like that, if you got to get rid of a few amount of your players and all to make the contracts work, I think that's a move that the Lakers should look into and all too as well. So it's very interesting for them, honestly. Sitting there at 8-4, have had their struggles on the road at least and all. In their last, Eastern road trip at least, and all Eastern Coast road trip at least, and also I find them interesting. They could a team that I don't see getting better that can rise up as a top seeded type of team at least, but that could bear where they are right now. I do think they'll get a little bit worse and maybe be a playing team at least, but a great start for them compared to the past couple of years, where one year I think they started 2-10, and I believe the same like last year they didn't start all that great either, and also to sit there at 8-4 after 12 games to start the NBA season at least and all is a great start for them. And JJ Redick as their first year coach and also. But at number 4, this is where the impressive teams in the Western Conference I gotta give credit to. At number 4 right now is the Phoenix Suns, who are at 9-4. Going to be without Kevin Durant for a couple weeks, but are still playing some good basketball without him and all. And with the offensive depth, should be okay without Kevin Durant, in my opinion and all. Budenholzer has brought his system from Milwaukee over, his system from Atlanta and Milwaukee over to Phoenix, and all. Tyus Jones is a big part to why their offense is a shit ton more consistent and a shit ton much better in the fourth quarter at least and all too as well. But still, it is surprising how well they're playing. I thought this team may not even make the playoffs and all, and they're starting there at 10-4. Starting there that's a top 4 seed at 9-4 at least and all too as well. In the last 3 games, I believe, are without, or maybe 4 or 5 games are without Kevin Durant, and they're still sitting there in those games with a 500 record and still having a well above 500 record to start the season at least. And also quite impressed by them. Definitely can continue what they're doing and all. Too as well. Honestly, Mike Budenholzer system has not failed offensively at least, and all. There's no reason why it doesn't. I'm not a big fan of Yusuf Nurkic, but the pickup of Mason Plumlee does balance that out a bit too as well. A more effort guy too as well. You can play in certain situations more than Nurkic in late fourth quarter situations and all too as well. So, and even like their young player in Ryan Dunn right now too as well, honestly. So a good team, honestly, that's going to get better in my opinion too as well. I hope that Durant injury is one of the worst of the injuries throughout the year and all, and they're able to keep up this momentum that they've built to start the season and all. The surprise of the top four right now is definitely the Houston Rockets at 9-4. I anticipated to be a play-in team, but I did not anticipate them being a playoff team, and I did not anticipate me saying that they shouldn't go after a guy like Giannis if he becomes available. They should actually keep everything that they got right now and move forward with what they got, because they have a limitless cap right now, in my opinion. Honestly, this team could stay as a top four seeded team in the Western Conference throughout the season. They play top 8, top 10 defense. They play top 8, top 10 offense right now too as well. Alfred Sengun and Jalen Green does work. I was questioning about that. That's why I felt like they were a playing team. They seem to work just fine, honestly. Ime Udoka has proven to be a damn good coach and all through the second half of last year for Houston, and obviously his one season in Boston and all too as well, and his one playoff run in Boston too as well, and also, and they got dope wings that have ability, from Thompson to Cam Whitmore too as well to Jabari Smith. Even though he's more of a power forward, I'll even give him that much love too as well, because they have a clear center and Torrey Easton too as well. But they got a clear center and Sengun. They got a clear, I guess, lead guard. I won't say point guard, but definitely a lead guard, and Jalen Green and all too as well. So they got the right mix to keep this going and all. They got the youth, they got the veterans and Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, Jeff Green and all. They got the right mix and all, in my opinion, of what you want in today's NBA, at least and all. And that's why, no lie, they're number 3, surprisingly, in the Western Conference and all. They got that youthful exuberance that the Nuggets are trying to figure out, that the T-Wolves won't play, at least in all too as well, what the Grizzlies are using all over again. That's why they stayed as a top 4 seed even throughout the injuries, at least in all too as well. So Houston's just got the right mix and all. Outside of the Thunder, they got the young. I think outside the top of my head, outside of the Thunder, they have one of the youngest teams in the league, at least in all too as well. And they're in their top 3 in the Western Conference. And with that defense, you saw where defense took OKC last year throughout the regular season. You saw where defense took the Timberwolves throughout the season last year too as well. As long as Houston's playing defense and Green and Sengun are relatively healthy throughout the year, I wouldn't be surprised they're able to keep this top 4 performance and even maybe be a 1-seeded team this year. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Houston's that good this year throughout the year. Honestly, they got what you need in this current realm of the NBA right now. The youthful exuberance throughout the roster, the slight experience and all too as well of losing close big games, at least from last year, at least and all. And they got veterans, at least who have been in playoffs, at least and all, and who have won championships, at least. When we talk about Fred VanVleet and Jeff Green, at least. And also a lot to like about Houston, and my man JR and all too as well. Your optimism came to be right. I was a little skeptic about that, because JR be coming up with some skeptic stuff. Talk about JR, my man, from Twitter Spaces that I speak to and all from time to time and all too as well. But definitely had his high hopes about his team and all, and he definitely had his hopes right, honestly. And my rookie of the year right now, Reece Sheppard, has even shown out right now too as well. So a lot to like over there in Houston right now too as well. At number 2, you got the Golden State Warriors, and they're the surprising team with Steph Curry there. You shouldn't be surprised, at least and all, but it is surprising that they're 10-2 and all. I came in halfway through their good start, not believing in their run. If they're 10-2, 12 games in, you can't deny it, in my opinion, honestly, too, as well. This team, the dynasty is not over yet. Even losing Klay Thompson, they made the right moves to keep this thing going, honestly, with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and all, Kyle Anderson. What's his name there? Melton, even though I believe he got hurt again, unfortunately, because I think he played 1-2 games for them. Didn't start the season, at least, no. But obviously the big pickup is Buddy Hield right now too as well. You got the young players in Moody and Kuminga making the difference too. They're playing a young guy there, I think last name Walker, at least in all. Pajinski hasn't really played this year too as well. Honestly, there's a lot going on over there in Golden State, honestly. You got Steph Curry. They got Steph Curry playing at 30 minutes or less, honestly, too, as well, and is still dropping moments, games, points, and all, too, as well, doing everything that we're used to seeing from him, too, as well. So as much as I was in denial about the Warriors when they first started this run, you can't deny what they're doing right now. Steve Kerr has finally figured out how to play 12 guys in one basketball game, and I'll mind it for him at least. And it's 10-minute quarters in the Olympics compared to 12-minute quarters in the NBA at least, and also there's 2 minutes for space at least, and all for him at least, and all. But it is impressive where they're at right now. Obviously, if Steph Curry's playing the way he's playing, they're not going anywhere. They will be a team to reckon with throughout the season, all too, as well. And also, these two, Golden State and Houston, definitely surprise teams to start the season and all. And usually, with my method of thinking, when I think about sports, when there's two teams that surprise you in a scenario, one of them is going to get out of it. Like I compared Milwaukee and Philly. Like one of those teams is going to get out of the hole that they're in. I think it's Philly at least. This scenario though, it wouldn't surprise me if both teams stay in this top four scenario. The only thing maybe stopping them again is health at least and all. But other than that, I do believe both these teams continue where they're going. Houston making a deep playoff run. It's a different story at least and all, but at least keeping a top four seed in the Western Conference throughout the regular season and all. Yes, because you got that youthful exuberance. You saw the Thunder make their light run last year, Minnesota last year too as well with their run. The Sacramento Kings the year before honestly too as well. Even the Denver Nuggets too, when they had their more of their veterans at least, with the KCPs and the Bruce Browns and the Jeff Greens, their young players, even like Christian Braun, obviously Jamal Murray and Jokic, but they've done their things in the playoffs in the past at least, but still, even Aaron Gordon at least too as well. I guess you can say that veteran presence helped a guy like that at least like Houston has it. The Thunder will I'll be talking about next, the one seed at least, added to it with Caruso and Hartenstein and all too as well. It's very important in the Western Conference, I think in the league in general, to have these young teams, your roster being full with young talent, and you're adding a veteran here and there and all to help level up that young talent too as well, lack of a better word at least and all. But let's get to the one seed since I'm going on a tangent about the Oklahoma City Thunder and all. Clearly the best team in the Western Conference and all. Thought they would be, honestly, too, as well. You got Shea there. You got J-Dub going to be developing. Chet, unfortunately, is going to be out for like 8 weeks and also 2 months at least and all. I think reevaluated after 2 months, so we'll see how long he's out. But and he was having a great start to the season, too, as well, honestly, looking like a clear all-star and all, too, as well. And also, it is unfortunate he got hurt and all. But versatile all over the place defensively and all, and that's why they're a true one seed, honestly. Huge questions about their offense and all, but I don't think that will turn up until the playoffs at least and all. But defensively, they're going to be one of the best, if not the best team in the league and all. When you got Shea guaranteed giving you 25 to 30 points at least and all, too as well. It's going to be a good, you're going to have stretches of dominance at least, when you have those type of things together and all. As long as J-Dub can continue with his uptick at least, because he's gone another uptick at least and all. And we won, and now the huge thing now with them, because you got the Warriors, you got this. I'm not going to take the Rockets seriously about a championship run. Definitely top four. I'll give them that much love, but not about a championship run. Not going to do that. But I do wonder about the Thunder versus the Warriors in the 7-game series, the Suns in the 7-game series, the Lakers in the 7-game series. I get their success against the Nuggets and all, but I'm worried about that. I'm still worried about them in a 7-game series against Jokic at least and all too as well. And outside of those top 6 teams and all, if there's one team I'm worried about, there are 2 teams I'm worried about them in the 7-game series, if they're healthy, is the Memphis Grizzlies and the Sacramento Kings and all. And I'll throw the Clippers in there if Kawhi is healthy. There's a lot of teams I'm worried about them facing in a playoff series, 7 games and all, even if Chet is completely healthy and all still. I don't remember where they were. Yeah, let me bring up their offense. I still got it up, so I'm happy about that. But they are top 12 in offense right now. They were top 20 in offense too as well. So We'll see how that ranges and all. They're 113.5 right now. The best is 121 with the Cavs. Number 2 is the Celtics in 121. The third is the Knicks in 119 and all, to my offensive point about them. The Warriors are number 4. Even the Lakers are number 5 and all too as well. Even the Brooklyn Nets are number 10 in offensive rating over the Oklahoma City Thunder. The T-Wolves, who I mentioned earlier, where I think they're still figuring themselves out offensively, are better than the OKC Thunder right now offensive rating wise. I will grant them losing Chet at least and all, but again, they were 20 earlier in the week and all. They built up to 12 and all too as well. That's why I'm curious if it's just the league having its week at least and all, and that's why they went up to 12, or they got better at least and all. So we'll see how that plays out. But I don't like them offensive rating wise. Defensive rating wise, different story. Best in the league. 3 points better than the Orlando Magic, who are a pretty damn good defensive team and all. And to my defensive point about the Houston Rockets, they're 3rd in defensive rating and all. You got the Warriors 4, Grizzlies 5, C 6, Cavs 7. Why I think the Cavs will continue what they've been doing, because they've always been the defensive team and all, and now they're a top 1 offensive rating team right now to start the season and also. And even I've knocked the T-Wolves for their defense, they're still top 10 defensive rating wise too as well, honestly. So yeah, top 10 defensive rating wise, so not so far off than what I anticipated, at least not what they are defensively. I do think they're better. They are more of a Rockets, Orlando, or OKC Thunder type of defense, where their rating should be between 100 to 106 at least and also. Again, huge questions about the OKC and their offense at least and all, but with their defense, they're going to be a top 1, top 2 seeded team. The Warriors are interesting and all moving forward at least and all, because they're top 5 in both in offense and in defense at least and all. So OKC, I thought they were a guaranteed 1 seed, not so guaranteed because of a team like the Warriors. And if the Suns are able to get Kevin Durant back too as well, they may be an interesting team that can battle for a 1 seed at least and all. But again, we are like 10, 12 games into the season, 3 weeks into the season and all. So that's just my current breakdown of how I feel about the NBA, National Basketball Association, the both conferences respectfully, at least not too as well. You can see I wasted a whole lot more time on the Eastern Conference than the Western Conference too as well. I don't know why, because there's a lot more moving parts in the Western Conference at least, and also there's a lot more, to lack of a better word, and Stephen A. Smith's word, there's a whole lot more fluidity in the Western Conference and all. Like the Lakers are 5, can easily be 10. You know what I mean, next week at least and all. Like for the Eastern Conference at least and all, I feel like most teams are staying where they're at least and all, unless they go on a very, very hot streak like the Milwaukee Bucks or the Philadelphia 76ers at least and all. There's not much going to be changing between 4 to 10 over the next week or two, in my opinion. On the Western Conference and all, it's a lot more closeness at least and all too as well, in my opinion. Yeah, if there's one tie in the Eastern Conference, if there are 5 and 8 teams, and if there are ties in the Western Conference, you got 2 9 and 4 teams, you got 3 7 and 6 teams too as well, and you even got 2 6 and 7 teams too as well, saying that 10 and 11 with the Clippers and the Spurs and all too as well. So there could be a lot of moving changes and all. So that's why I wasted more time in the Eastern Conference. There's a shit ton more stability in a way with the bottom teams at least. When we talk about Milwaukee and Philly, they're low key the joke of the NBA right now. 2 teams that are expected to be at least making noise in the Eastern Conference, and they're saying they're at the bottom, they're more at the top at least and all. So that's all I got for today and all. Next episode will probably be more NFL oriented. We're reaching closer to the playoffs and all too as well. The Commanders had themselves a tough loss against the Philadelphia Eagles this past Thursday, and also be curious how they rebound from that and all. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens playing this weekend too as well, and we got the Chiefs and the Bills playing this weekend too as well, in Buffalo and all too as well. So an interesting set of games and all, and we'll be curious how this NFL season keeps playing out and all. So again, I appreciate you guys for listening. Go ahead and leave a rating on your podcast platforms. Follow us on Instagram and on our YouTube channel. And I'll be definitely leaving links and that stuff in that nature in the description. Also, thanks again for listening. And we'll talk to you next time.